Alright, welcome back to Sonic Adventure 2. In the last video we finished the Heroes story. This time we're going to jump into the Dark story, which I think is, at least story-wise, a little bit better.
Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Security breach at Gate 3. Intruder has been located in the north quadrant and is moving in the direction of the underground base. All units prepare to engage. Emergency battle formations. Standard battle procedures initiated. Locate and stop the intruder from entering the security area. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
So the first big change, obviously the gameplay is the same, but the first change that I would say the Dark story has over the Hero story is that the Eggman mech levels are about 1,000 times better than the Tails levels, which again goes to my theory that Tails was tossed into this game at the last minute, and that Eggman was the only character that was meant to have mech stages. The Tails levels just kind of seem like throwaway levels. There's a couple that he has that I enjoy, but almost every single one of Eggman's levels fits the story, it fits Eggman's character. And I just feel like the levels themselves are designed better. This is clearly very similar to Tails' level, but it just fits Eggman better. The music is better. I just think overall the Eggman levels are better than the Tails levels. I'm not gonna say that's exactly true for all the characters. Like Rouge, none of her levels are really that memorable. I'm just gonna say, except for the one, but it's memorable in the worst way possible. And another thing about this is another one of those Dreamcast versus GameCube and other ports differences. The lighting in this one is much better. It always comes down to the lighting, it seems, but the red tint on this level, I feel like it's either gone or differently done in the other versions, and this one actually, visually speaking, makes it look like you're breaking into a highly guarded facility instead of, I think they just get rid of this tint in other versions. So, visually speaking, this level looks better, specifically on the Dreamcast version. And yeah, I don't know. I just think playing as Eggman in the mech has always made more sense than Tails. Tails is a 8-year-old child who is never, I just can't see him behind the wheel of a mech shooting things to death. And yeah, I know they're robots, but it still just makes a whole lot more sense for Eggman to be doing this. This, I feel like, is different. I remember there being a switch here that you press. But instead what you do here is you have to activate this scene first, and then I think you can go back and activate that, which I feel like in other versions is not the case. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I could have hit that first. I'm really not sure. I feel like that might be different in other versions. But again, not 100% certain on that one. But I really did feel like I had one of those moments where I've played this mission 1,000 times. How do I remember this being slightly different? So, could be me, could be an actual change.
So this is the military's top top-secret weapon. It's a lot smaller than I expected. Enter user data. Enter password. Password is Maria. Maria. Now all I have to do is to place the Chaos Emerald into this console.
I think this is the one time in the game that it's actually appropriate that someone mistook Shadow for Sonic. Because he's high up, it's kind of dark in here.
Shadow, since you were so kind to release me, my master, I will grant you one wish.
As a kid, I thought that was literal. I thought he literally had the ability to grant wishes, and I was always wondering, like, after this point, like, where'd the wish go? I don't understand why they never bring up that wish ever again. So, I was pretty stupid as a kid. There's a video online, or I guess it's a series of videos that talk about how, like, the storytelling in the gameplay of this game is really well done, and I never really even thought about it before, but they bring up a lot of good points, one of them being that, you know, the first time you play as Sonic, it's in a speed level, and it shows kind of how he's about, like, freedom, he's trying to escape the military. He's about fast speed, and Shadow, the first time you play as him, it's in a boss battle to show, like, his rage and anger at humanity. So I think that's really neat. I don't know if that was what they were intending to do. For some reason, I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. But it is an interesting little tidbit there that may or may not be a real thing that the developers were intending. But I've always thought it was interesting that the first time you play as Shadow, it's through a boss battle. There's a big contrast between Sonic, and it also brings up the one of the few, like, minor things that I don't like about the Dark story is that Shadow has far less levels than Sonic does.
Destroying that guard robot was spectacular. So, Shadow, you are the military's top-secret weapon. But what did you mean when you said you will grant me a wish?
Bring more Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow, wait!
I'll be waiting for you in the central control room on the Space Colony Ark.
Ark.
He's also probably the best voice actor that Shadow has had. He's the only one that I think gives him actual personality and humanity to it, other than just... I like Jason Griffith as Shadow, but he's basically just doing this. And Kirk Thornton, I like the way he sounds, but Shadow has not had a character since Kirk Thornton has been voicing him.
The Master Emerald contains special powers that neutralize the energy of the Chaos Emerald. That makes it very powerful. What the? Look who's calling who?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Master Emerald's you. Dr. Eggman.
So that's Dr. Eggman.
Not if I can help it. I did that to prevent the Master Emerald from being stolen, you idiots. But it's at least this I can restore it. And by the way, that's not your emerald.
I despise anyone who takes jewels from me. All the world gems are mine to keep.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Batgirl.
Sometimes the Dreamcast version, I noticed this while recording and editing these videos, sometimes they'll drop a line at the very end of a cutscene, which unfortunately is going to butcher one of my favorite moments at the end of the game. but whatever. It like removes like a syllable or whatever. So Rouge plays just like Knuckles. Her levels are, I'm gonna say, even more copy-paste than the Tails levels. I don't think she has like one unique level that isn't like something that Knuckles does. The saving grace of the Rouge levels, just like the Knuckles levels, is her music. Specifically, Rouge's levels sound like Bayonetta music. Like, you could literally put any of her songs over a Bayonetta fight scene and no one would be able to tell the difference. And yeah, her her opening level is like just as short and easy to complete as Knuckles' is. Knuckles is? Knuckles is. I don't know. And I knew I could see it, but I don't know where it is, but I think it's just floating around me. This one was quite elusive for a second because I couldn't quite make out where it was. Again, bad camera is kind of to blame here. Like, yeah, I don't know how I didn't see that. This one's maybe one of the lesser, like, Bayonetta-sounding ones, but almost all of her other levels sound exactly like it should be in a Bayonetta game.
How is that? Perfect? Like me?
Once again, you're probably only going to be seeing A ranks with the treasure hunting characters. I think I maybe get one as Eggman.
Those idiots will never find my hidden base inside this pyramid. Let's take care of this game first, then get inside.
I love how he calls it his hidden base, and he's got his face literally all over it. So this is about 1,000 times better than the Tails level. It's still not great. It's still probably my least favorite of the Eggman levels, but it's not nearly as annoying as Tails. The only thing that the Tails level does better is that by now you already have the hover boost. Eggman doesn't get it, I think, until the next level that he does, so... Or maybe does he get it in this one toward the end? I don't remember, but he gets it later on than Tails does, which is a shame. Because I think that the gameplay of the mech characters really starts to get, like, good once you have the hover. It just helps you not, you know, die in pits and stuff. It lets you go a little bit faster. And again, the Eggman music is so much better. I like the Tails music, but this kind of music really fits like a siege type of a level way more. You know, Eggman's got to fight his way in, Gun has troops all over the place. So this more, like, industrial metal sounding music, not only does it fit Eggman's character, but it also just fits the levels better, I think. Something that I didn't really even realize until I started editing the Sonic Adventure 2 videos is that I've done a lot of 2 games this year so far, which was completely unintentional, despite the fact that we are in 2022. And right now, when I'm recording the commentary for this, yesterday was 2/22/22, so there's a lot of 2s going on this year. I did Hitman 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sonic Adventure 2, and I can, well, not guarantee, but I'm thinking of, there's 2 other 2 games that I would like to do this year. And again, completely unintentional. I did not do it on purpose, but it looks like this is going to be the year of 2s. Completely unintentionally, despite the fact that it is, like, perfect and works perfectly fine being the year of 2s. I guess one of them I'll just say, but last year I did a playthrough of the original Sonic the Hedgehog for its 30th anniversary. And there is another game, it's just Sonic 2, that has an anniversary this year as well. So I figured I'd do that. Whether it'll be in the Origins collection, if that ever comes out, because we haven't heard anything from that since the announcement. or it'll be through the same way that I did last year, through the Sega Ages on Switch, which is a very good version. I would not mind doing that, but I'd like to see if the Origins collection is going to come out. Very interested to see what they do about the Michael Jackson music in that, because that's why a lot of people have theorized that Sonic 3 has been re-released, like, in forever. That was a real, like, catch-22 thing, because that was such a rumor for a long time, that Michael Jackson did the... have I talked about this before? I don't know. That, you know, it was a rumor for such a long time that Michael Jackson did the music for Sonic 3, and Sega had that plausible deniability that no one really knew for sure. So they could say, you know, no, you know, who the people who were credited in the game did the music. And then as more people started looking into it, and then more people, like, in the Michael Jackson sphere, like people who knew him, people who worked with him, people who worked on the game with him, were like, yeah, he definitely did the music in this game. You know, Sega didn't have that anymore. They couldn't say, he definitely didn't work on this anymore. It's not as cut and dry now. So if they were to ever re-release that, they might now, you know, have to worry about giving royalties to the Jackson family, or just not being able to release it full stop. So, yeah, people got an answer for whether or not Michael Jackson worked on the music, but they also haven't been able to play Sonic 3 since, because they wanted to know the answer. So, it's a little bit of a monkey paw situation, you know? I wish I knew if Sonic 3 the music was done by Michael Jackson. Okay, you have the answer, now you can't play Sonic 3. So, I picked up the Chao key just because I wanted to show Eggman out of the mech. Once again, just like Tails, they fully animated him outside of the mech, which I think is phenomenal. He runs real fast, and that's really all I wanted to share from that there.
With the Chaos Emerald in the space colony Ark. I've got to find out just what's going on up there.
We interrupt this broadcast for an important news flash. There has been a break-in at the Federal Reserve Bank today. Mysteriously, the only thing that was stolen was the Chaos Emerald. According to eyewitnesses at the scene, the suspect was identified as the world-renowned hero, Sonic the Hedgehog. The suspect was seen fleeing the scene, destroying the reserve's guard robots in his path. Stay tuned for more details.
Like the work of Shadow.
How pathetic.
Find them before they escape!
Maria! Shadow, I beg of you, please, do it for me. For all the people on that planet. Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
I still remember what I promised you. For the people of this planet, I promise you revenge.
So this is the first speed stage that we get as Shadow properly, and it is probably my second favorite speed stage in the game next to City Escape. It's just really good. Both levels are great introductions to these characters. Music's great for Shadow. I love that his music's always a little bit more dark, a little bit more mysterious. Again, very aggressive music to show, you know, Shadow's character, which I think is really nice. I do love how all the music fits each character's personality in this game. I've always really appreciated that. That's another thing that this game does better than Sonic Adventure 1. Again, I like Sonic Adventure 1 better, but you know, you go to Ice Cap Zone or whatever that is in that game, it's going to be the same music for every character. You go to Red Mountain, it's the same music for each character. That's the benefit of having unique levels for each character in this game, is that they can each have their own music and their own musical style, and level music that fits each character's personality, which is very nice. This was just another one of those levels that I remember every time a friend would come over, you know, again, I was the only person that I knew that had a Dreamcast. They would always want to play City Escape and this level, so I've played and seen this level like thousands of times. This was my biggest regret in all of like recording this entire playthrough. Was I got all the way up here on the bridge and I biffed it. I wanted to grind down, but I think it was the camera didn't let me. It just wasn't quite right. I feel like this is easier on the GameCube, but I got up here and I went to go do this and the camera screwed me. I was trying to just simply land on the railing. I think they wanted you to lightspeed dash onto it, but there is no lightspeed dash yet. I don't have that. In fact, I think the lightspeed dash is technically an optional power-up for Shadow. I don't think you need to get it to Shadow, because there's not any, like, big hits over, you know, over nothing that require a lightspeed dash like Sonic does a couple times. So yeah, this is a great level. This is one of those that they put into the 3DS version of Sonic Generations instead of City Escape, which is fine. I think this really is the other iconic speed level in the game, so that was a good choice. But the version of this song that's in that game sounds like toilets. It's really, really bad. It literally just sounds like someone throwing up into a toilet and then flushing it the whole time. That's what the music sounds like. Seriously, give it a listen. The 3DS version of Radical Highway sounds like garbage. So that is it for the first video of the Dark Side story. I will see you next time.
Too easy for me.